What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about 5 fights that I want to see in the UFC lightweight division within the next 6 to 12 months. Starting with Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. And the thing is Dustin Poirier has been talking a lot about anybody but Oliveira. But what actually has Dustin Poirier done that Charles Oliveira hasn't done? Charles Oliveira holds the lightweight belt. I think this is where Poirier's brain goes. Poirier's brain goes, I can fight Nate Diaz, get an easy win, make a boatload of money. I can fight Oliveira, possibly lose. If I do win, I still don't make as much money as I do if I fought Diaz. I don't necessarily know if Dustin Poirier, because here's the thing, there's 2 different ways fighters get countered in the UFC. The first way you get countered is the obvious way. You know, fighter A is good at something that fighter B is not good at, but fighter B is great at something that fighter A is not good at. It's like wrestling versus boxing. There's another way you can get countered in the UFC, and it's if someone's strength is your strength. Charles Oliveira is a very precise striker, but a submission specialist. He's got a lot more knockout power than people realize behind his precision strikes. Does that sound like anybody familiar? Yeah, it sounds like Dustin Poirier. So I hope that's the fight we see next between those two, but I'm not 100% sure if it is. Next fight I really want to see, it's got to be Beneil Dariush versus Dan Hooker. In that matchup, I'm not quite sure who wins. Last thing that I remember from these fighters, I remember Daryush controlling Tony Ferguson and completing a submission that should have ended the fight, but it didn't end because it's Tony Ferguson. And then I saw Dan Hooker get absolutely, utterly dominated by Michael Chandler. For Dan Hooker's next fight is going to be super crucial because he's either going to stay in the conversation of the lightweight belt, stay in the conversation of the top 5, or become a journeyman, and it's on you when you want to retire. And I think that Beneil Dariush has earned the better of the two between RDA and Dan Hooker, which actually segues really well into my next matchup, which is RDA versus Islam Makhachev. RDA is already talking smack about Islam Makhachev. In a sense, I would be fine if it was Daryush versus RDA, Daryush versus Dan Hooker, Islam Makhachev versus whoever Daryush doesn't fight. I'm cool with however that goes, right? I just want to see Islam Makhachev versus an actually great fighter. I want to see RDA and Dan Hooker both get one more shot before they become a stepping stone. The next big time fight I want to see, Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. The reason Justin Gaethje doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler is the same reason Michael Chandler doesn't want to fight Islam Makhachev. It's not because they think they're going to lose. It's because they think that they can do better, right? Justin Gaethje is kind of in a lose-lose situation. That's the issue. He loses to Michael Chandler, he might get dropped all the way out of the top 5 just because it's a lightweight division. Now, if Justin Gaethje wins, how does that prove anything? Now you've beaten somebody who's 1-2 in the UFC. And even though if you look at Michael Chandler's resume in Bellator, it's actually really super duper impressive, nobody cares. Michael Chandler's mentioned multiple times that we make highlight reels, so let's make another one. Either I'm going to be your highlight or you're going to be mine. And I don't really like that fight for Justin Gaethje, only because who has Justin Gaethje fought that has had the power that Michael Chandler has? I don't think anybody in the lightweight division has the power that Michael Chandler has. Michael Chandler is an insanely great grappler. And I'm going to be honest, okay? And maybe this speaks more to, La Quinte or Poirier or even McGregor. All of those 3 fighters looked more impressive than Justin Gaethje did against Khabib. I'm going to be honest, Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, does anybody talk about the Donovan McNabb, Andy Reid era Philadelphia Eagles? Even though that team won like 6 straight NFC East championships, even though that team went to a Super Bowl and a lot of conference championships, they never won one. They're never champions, so nobody cared. What is the number one thing people hold over LeBron, over everything else? That he's lost 6 times in the NBA Finals. Nobody cares how good you are unless you're a champion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But there's one other fight we got to get to. So there was 5 fights that I wanted to see. And I think this one's the most exciting. I really want to see Conor McGregor versus Tony Ferguson. What do the 2 of these fighters hate more than anything? And for some reason, they refuse to fix this part of the game. They hate getting taken down. They both get taken down easily. They both have horrible defense from the bottom. They both are terrible on their backs. Listen, I don't think Tony Ferguson or Conor McGregor tried to take Tony Ferguson or Conor McGregor down. I think the 2 of them try to knock each other out. Loser leaves the UFC. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like these 5 matchups? Who do you think would win each of these 5 matchups, right? Just off the top of my head, Oliveira, Daryush, Makhachev, McGregor, Chandler. Let me know in those comments down below. Do click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for even more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.